What's up, guys? Frosty here with another video. Today I'm going to be doing an informative video about the newest Final Fantasy title coming out, Final Fantasy XIII-2. And I want to finally kind of just let everyone know, what's going on with the second game, because I'm really getting tired of people whining and complaining about how it sucks and it's going to be horrible, blah, blah, blah. It's not even out yet. Fucking relax. The first game was a bit linear. The combat system was different, but it didn't suck. It was just different from what you were used to. It wasn't broken. It worked fine. They changed it into something else that just happened to work. For the formulas. The story was still good. It looked amazing. The soundtrack was great. The combat was pretty deep once you got into the game. Yes, it was pretty stale at the beginning, but once you started learning all different paradigms and learning all different skills and everything for when you had all the characters in your groups, you actually did have to think and plan out your attacks and decide it wasn't just a button mash. But all that's been addressed in the second game, so don't catch chickens before they hatch. Basically, to address the idea that the whole game was very linear, they've added multiple endings to the story for this one, as well as a new game plus. The multiple story endings will be accessed through various dialogue options you have with NPCs now. You can actually talk to the NPCs. That's been changed. There's also a temporal rift feature where you will solve puzzles in a dimension between worlds, and solving those puzzles will shift something in the main story and solve something in the main story as well. So doing those a different way, saying different things to NPCs, will ultimately change the outcome of the game. New Game Plus, once you beat the game, you'll have the option to go back and start it over again, which basically allows you to play through the entire story again, but gain access to items and things that you weren't able to get to at all on your first playthrough. So there's replay value this time around. Which is very rare with a Final Fantasy game. Usually there's only one ending. So to have a Final Fantasy game with multiple endings is very cool. And the fact that they're giving you incentive to get those other endings by giving you New Game Plus is very neat. The battle system, the paradigm shift is still in. They added an ATB, an active time battle, the event system in certain battles where you'll actually have to hit a series of button combinations while fighting to do a special move per se for if you're fighting a boss. What I read about too is very cool is you can actually capture monsters that you fight, and you can actually have them fight with you in your party, and during the combat they actually have their own special attacks they can do. If you fill up when they're fighting with you, they have their own kind of limit break bar, per se, or whatever. When that fills up, they can actually do special attacks. So that's very, very cool that you can actually get the enemies to fight with you. That's a neat little feature they added. The enemies do not appear on the maps anymore, on the world map. They will actually appear, as you get close to them. And when you do, there's a thing called a Mog timer that will show up. And the faster you get to that enemy to fight him, you will get bonuses added to your party at the beginning of the fight. Instead of hesitating, if you run right into the battle, they're going to give you more of a bonus, a combat bonus, for doing that. So, I mean, that's essentially what everyone was complaining about in the first game, right? The linear function is essentially gone due to the fact that there's multiple endings now. They revamped the combat system, which really wasn't broken in the first place. It worked for all intents and purposes. It did what it was supposed to do. It's just people didn't like it because it was different, in my opinion. And I played through the whole game, so you can't tell me that it didn't work or it's broken. I played through the entire fucking game and I platinumed the game. And believe me, it was hard. Even knowing the combat system and having maxed out characters, you still had to plan out your battles. And I don't think anybody should say anything about the battle system being stupid until they did the Seath Mission 64 against Vercingetorix and actually beat him. Then you can tell me that the combat system is easy and stale. And we'll see, because that shit was hard, regardless of if you had the strategy guide or not, and you had maxed out characters. The shit was still hard. So that's that. Final Fantasy XIII-2 coming out December 15th in Japan, January 31st for North America, and February 2nd and 3rd for Europe and Australia. So pick it up, check it out, it's going to be cool. And don't forget to sub if you liked my video. I'm not going to put an annotation on it because they now have a sub button up on the top of the screen right next to my name. So thanks for watching, guys. Peace.